I come from a village in Central Region, precisely in Upper Denchira West, called Dominacy. I attended elementary school in Dominacy, proceeded to Ghana Secondary School in Kofodia for my ordinary level, then to Accra Academy for my advanced. Then after my university education, I had my national service of GPHA, that's Ghana Port and Harbours Authority. After that, I worked with Household Aluminium as the marketing manager. After some time, I took over from my father's company, which is Untitled Enterprise, where I worked for almost about 8 years. Then lately in 2013, I founded a company called Jusa Plus Ventures. Basically, that is that. Mr. Chairman, my political career, though in the university, actually started when I contested the 2004 Upper Denchira primaries when Honorable C. Nyano died. May his soul rest in perfect peace. In 2008, I contested Upper Denchira West MPP primaries, which I lost to Honorable Ben Ohiaye.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations, Honorable Asiamah. Can you please provide to us information on your basic education, just as you just did, and on your CV as well? You take off from O-level, but the template we provided, we are also interested in your basic education. So can you please help us with that information?
Mr. Chairman, like I rightly said, that I attended elementary school in my village. Though I did not complete middle school because I had to pass common entrance and go to secondary school. That is where I maybe found that.
So, was it a Methodist school or an LA school? That's what we want to know.
I think it's an Anglican school.
Chairman, on page 2 of the nominee's CV, the nominee provides 2 A-level entries, 1992 and 1994. Can you please explain this?
Mr. Chairman, rightly so. Mr. Chairman, in 1992, that was where I had my A-level, my first A-level examination. Unfortunately, at Accra Academy, we had a problem, so some of our results were cancelled. In 93, I had a surgery, so I could not write in 93 exams. So in 94, I had to come here and write those exams. That's why you see 92, 94.
Thank you very much. On page 3 of your CV, you have here appointed and served as a member of Central Regional MPP campaign team. You do not provide the year. Which of the campaigns? Is it the just ended 2016 campaign or 2012 or 2008 campaign? Can you please help us with the year?
Mr. Chairman, actually, since 2008 up to now, I've always been part of the Central Region campaign team. So that is why you see it like that.
So we'll seek your permission to make the necessary corrections. We also have here member National Council of the New Patriotic Party 2009 to 2013, and that same entry is repeated 2013 to date. Can you explain what is going on with this?
Mr. Chairman, nomination or election to council is based on 4-year term. So in 2009 to 2013 I served, and 2013 to 2016 again, I'm also a member of the council.
Are you able to tell this committee, honorable nominee, what Jusa Plus Ventures does? What's the nature of the business that you are chief executive officer of? And you indicate on the CV 2013 to date. Are you still the chief executive officer, and do you intend to continue in that position?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, Jusa Plus Venture basically deals with printing and aviation supplies. That is what Jusa is now doing. But Mr. Chairman, I've started a move to disassociate myself from Jusa Plus Venture. So I'm in the process of disassociating myself from that enterprise.
On the last page of your CV, do we have your permission to just clean this up? Contested in the NPP primaries. We need to insert NPP primaries in the Upper Danger constituency. I hope we have your permission to just clarify that submission.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Honorable nominee, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
This is just a short one on your CV. Do you have some coaching background?
Mr. Chairman,
it's here. 1997. Coach. No, you listen. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I may not in terms of certificate, but in terms of learning on the job, I have a senior who's by your side who can attest to that I have been involved for some time. So exactly that's what I did.
And this is captured under positions held, leadership positions held.
Yes.
So you were a coach.
That is not my certificate, but by practice.
Okay, any more on the CV?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I'm happy to disclose my relationship with and maybe recuse myself from asking him questions. The nominee happened to be my personal assistant when I was the General Secretary of Accra House of Chapters Committee. So because of that, it will be difficult for me to ask a question. But let me say, when he was giving a brief about himself, he totally failed to talk about his Accra House of Folk connection.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, I was trying to proceed to that angle when my Honorable Chairman stopped me. It is on my CV. I've stated my association with House of Folk in clear terms on my CV. Thank you very much.
That may cost you my vote. All right, we will start from my left.
They have a policy that the moment the car is broken down, you can't take your money even if you are in a hurry. There's nothing to give you back your money. Will you consider changing that policy?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, I don't know the contractual agreement between Metro Mass and their passengers, but I can assure the Honorable Member that this is a question that is brought before me. If by God's grace I'm confirmed by this Honorable House, it's a question I will take it to them, find out why they are doing that, and if there's any solution, you find to that.
Honorable Kwasi Ofori Asiamah, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman.
I think you are going to a very big ministry that is critical to the development of the Ghanaian economy. One major area that you will be overseeing is the ports. So I would focus my questions on the ports. People complain that one of the major bottlenecks to doing business in Ghana is clearing goods at the ports. If we increase the efficiency and speed with which those goods are cleared at the ports, it would enhance the competitiveness of Ghana as a gateway to West Africa. Do you have any ideas as you go to the Ministry of Transport what you intend to do to increase the efficiency at the ports?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, one thing, if by God's grace I'm confirmed, I intend to do is try to segregate container handling from other activities at the port. Secondly, I will advise the GPHA to look strictly into their technological involvement in terms of technology concerning arrival and cargo situations. And I'm sure that by doing that, we will be able to have total automation, which will reduce time and cost of doing the business. And by so doing, efficiency may be achieved. Thank you.
The second thing is, The senior minister, when he was being vetted here, and I think also the Minister for Finance, spoke extensively about leakages, in terms of revenue leakage. The general perception, which has also been borne out by previous investigative journalism, has tended to reveal that there's some level of revenue leakage at the ports, which is denying all of us resources for the development of the economy. How do you intend to apply yourself to aiding the finance ministry and others to deal with the reported leakage of revenue at the ports?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, what I intend to do is one, to look out for, like I said, technology. So long as there's a lot of human interface in the operations at the port, these situations may occur. So one, we need to look at technology. We are trying to reduce human involvement. Then also I will try to seek for electronic payment system, which will also be applied. And I'm thinking that by this situation, if not completely eliminating, you can reduce the level of revenue leakage at the port.
Let me do a follow-up. He referred to the Minister of Finances. Are you involved in the Ministry of Finance's revenue management?
Mr. Chairman, in terms of ministry, it may not be, but there's a linkage at the port between the Ministry of Transport and other agencies who are operating the especially the GCNet system. So that is where maybe the GPHA comes in, and that is what I intend to do. Thank you.
My last question, my last question has to do with a lot of people who, and I've asked this before to other critical ministries that are involved in that sector. My constituents are mostly involved in the haulage of cattle, goats, sheep, animals generally, and onions and other goods from the Sahelian countries to Accra, Kumasi, and the coastal belt. And they complain a lot about impediments in their way in terms of the haulage of the goods down to the south. The Minister of Interior and other agencies must play a role. But given that you are minister, you will be Minister for Transport if we so approve. What can you do to address this problem of a lot of impediments, so many roadblocks? If you count the number of roadblocks from here to Paga, you'll be amazed. If you compare it with our neighboring countries, they have fewer roadblocks, and the vision of Ghana as the gateway to West Africa is being affected by these developments. What can you do to help?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the Honourable Member rightly says so that it involves a lot of ministries, like the Ministry of Transport, the Ministry of Interior, and other ministries involved. What we need to do is to do a collaboration between these two ministries and try to find a solution to this problem. I don't think that I can just isolate myself from it when we haven't formed a quorum to decide what we need to do to resolve the issue. So I think collaboration, I will have a lot of collaboration with the ministries involved and try and find a solution to the problem. Thank you very much.
Obiama.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Asiamah, congrats for being nominated for this position. I've noticed that you are interested in sports and security. Even at the university, you're a member of the security committee. But that's just by the way. What's in the MPP manifesto as far as ports and harbors are concerned? Briefly, I've noticed about 7 points in the manifesto about ports and harbors. What is in the MPP manifesto?
Mr. Chairman, what is in MPP manifesto, like you write, is to do expansion to our transport industry, reduce costs, bring efficiency, and provide employment, and try to reduce poverty. That is basically what the MPP manifesto is linked to the transport sector.
Well, let's go to specifics. The manifesto on page 78, one aspect talks about collaboration with the private sector to construct new harbors at Jamestown in Accra and in Keta. As an incoming minister, what do you think needs to be done if you want to undertake the construction of a harbor at Jamestown and Keta? What does it entail?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, I'm not an expert in harbor construction, but what I can tell you that any project that one needs to do, first and foremost, you must first of all do a feasibility studies and find out if that project is viable. So if by God's grace I'm confirmed, like we said rightly, so we will cooperate with the private sector and build these two harbors. But first of all, like I said, I will do a feasibility study based on that project. Then we will go in partnership with the private sector to put out those two harbors. Thank you very much.
Well, you haven't said anything about legislation at all, or the legal aspect of things, but let's move on. If you look at the manifesto again, almost every issue, the other aspect of it is in collaboration with the private sector. In collaboration with the private sector. For instance, develop the Volta River into major transportation artery in collaboration with the private sector. Develop inland port at Wipe in collaboration with the private sector. Increase the number of ferries on the Volta River in collaboration with the private sector. Even for the Jamestown and Keta harbors in collaboration with the private sector. Logistics for Takoradi Harbor in collaboration with the private sector. How will you involve the private sector in this whole venture that we've stated here?
Mr. Chairman, MPP believe that the private sector is key to our development. We will provide a legal framework for the private sector to come in and help. But in every business, it's a decision of that private sector also to decide whether it is profitable for him or not. So the tax exemptions and other facilities that we need, if the Minister of Finance comes in and think that it will help us in developing those products, you will invite them. But the choice finally rests with them, whether they also want to do business with us. So the legal framework, the necessary conditions will be there for them to come in. Thank you very much.
I'm most grateful, Mr. Chairman, for your kindness. And let me also use this opportunity to assure Mr. Kwasi Ofori Asiamah that the phobians on this panel are more. So don't worry about the chairman's vote. Yes. Oh, we are more. My first question has to do with road safety. Road safety remains a major issue. As of November 2016, the official statistics that was released, about 11,378 Ghanaians had lost their lives due to the carnage on our roads. What do you propose as a new policy direction to address this challenge that continues to plague our nation?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, the carnage on our road is a very serious issue. Either it devastates a family or a business. So it's an issue that we need to be very critical about it. Mr. Chairman, if by God's grace I'm appointed or confirmed by you as a Minister for Transport, what I would need or I would look to do is one, to strengthen the capacity of National Road Safety Commission. By so doing, the act they have now is basically on subjective issue. Look again about our educational aspect. National Road Safety Commission should be empowered, human capacity and financially, to go out there and educate the people about the carnage on our road. Secondly, we must also look about enforcement. The laws may be there, but there's a problem with the enforcement. So I will collaborate with MTTD to make sure that the police also do their job. And thirdly, I will collaborate also with the Minister for Roads and Highways about the engineering on our road. We need to do constant road maintenance. It is also part of the problem. There is also an issue of disabled vehicles on our road. I will make sure that we go in with a company that will constantly be on the road to remove these disabled vehicles. And I'm sure that coming out with this measure, like I said, it may not be totally be eradicated, but it may be minimized. Thank you very much.
Before you go on, have you been briefed about why the bill empowering a group to, or a company to remove the disabled vehicles did not go on? The bill has been passed. Why it has not been implemented? Have you been briefed about it?
Mr. Chairman, to be honest, you have not, and I'm not going there. When I'm briefed, I'll come back.
Very well. If you need any information, contact me. I'll give you all the information you need.
I'll do that.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, my second and last question has to do with an institution I'm very, very passionate about, the Tema Shipyard. We've had a checkered history since the days of the Osajefo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Then it was divested to the Malaysians. And over the last few years, we have bought back our shipyard. It's an enormous potential. I've been to Jurong in Singapore, where our FPSOs are being built, and it's really driving the Singapore economy. Unfortunately, that giant is still asleep here in Ghana. I do know that before we left office, the GPHA assumed responsibility. It's been placed under their authority, but we need to revive the Tema shipyard so that we can begin to manufacture ships, even repair ships, the FPSOs we have and all of that. And that's really a gold mine, job creation as well. So have you been briefed about the Tema shipyard, and what's your vision for reviving the Tema shipyard?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, I have cited a document, not fully briefed, about the situation of Tema shipyard, as the Honorable Member said, that they've placed it under GPHA to go out there and look for a strategic investor to come in and see how we can help in reviving the company. I will call for full briefing, study it. If it is that it is good that it should remain under GPHA and we go out there to look for a strategic partner, I will do that. If it is that we need the Tema shipyard have to be on its own, then we can also look for a strategic investor to come in. I will do that. My basic aim is that the Tema shipyard should work again, and I will make sure that the company comes back to mainstream business. Thank you.
Honor Ablakwa, sorry. Honor nominee, thank you. We'll be glad to know you have your own personal vision to support the president to succeed in the transport sector. What will be your vision for the shipyard as he indicated? You've given us 3 options. Where do you stand? Which of the options will you recommend to the president, to cabinet?
Well, Mr. Chairman, my point is that now I don't have the full information. So to tell you that I stand A or B, it will be a little bit premature. When the full information is before me and we study it with the appropriate advices, then I may be able to come in clearly and advise the president on it. Thank you very much.
No, you just came. Kujo, you just came.
Thank you, Chairman. I have a peculiar issue. Seamen. When you hear seamen, I guess it rings a bell. Seafarers. shipping crew, and so on, those terms. Secondly, Takrade, we have had them, and certainly they may also be in Tema a lot, but I speak specifically in terms of secondly Takrade. We have past seamen, a lot of them, and young men aspiring to also stay to seafaring jobs. So because of that, some of them even stow away and issues like that. I think we should formalize this industry just to create employment for the teeming youth in secondary Takrade who are inclined to prefer this line of jobs. What will be your plan for them if you think it's a job creation avenue for us? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, I think the President campaign on job creation. And this is one area that we can create jobs for our youth. There are two institutions in this country who are responsible for this seamen or seafarers that we are talking about. We have the Regional Maritime University, which is responsible for the training, and Regional Maritime Authority, who issued the certificate of competence. So what I would do is that if by God's grace I'm confirmed once again by this house, I will call them, like I said, trying to have a roundtable discussion with them and see how we can come together, train these youth, give them the certificate, then export them out there. I know that the Danish company or the Danish Maritime Authority demands about 1 million seafarers. The Europeans are no more going to sea. They are demanding seafarers from Africa and Asia. The Asians are taking advantage, and this is our time to go in there and try and gain employment from there. So the training and certification will be one point that I'm going to concentrate on. Thank you very much.
The question, my first question actually is about the hikes in vehicle insurance. Vehicle insurance. Of late, there have been hikes in the price of vehicle insurance. And we are also talking about it, complaining that it is too high. Is there any hope that this will come down so that we can heave a sigh of relief? If it's so high, you realize that some regulators, I will not mention their names, will take advantage on our roads because people will not be able to pay, and therefore they will be subjected to a lot of harassment on the roads. Also, it is a matter of revenue generation, I know. So what is there? Is there any comfort, hope of comfort for vehicle owners so that the insurance prices would come down a little bit? I know that NPP government has promised a lot of reliefs everywhere. Everything, prices will come down. Life will be manageable. We shall all be happy. So for the insurance hikes, can you please tell us your take on it?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, I think the cost of every commodity is somehow the consumer may claim that maybe the price of every commodity should come down for him to have a certain form of relief. I have to be honest, I do not know exactly who is responsible for issuing insurance in this country, whether it comes directly under the Ministry of Transport. I do not know. I have to find out from my ministry before I can speak to this issue. It is Insurance Commission. Insurance Commission, I know for sure, does not come under the Ministry of Transport. So, Madam, maybe, like I said, collaboration, I need to collaborate with them and find out the reason why their insurance prices have gone down. Thank you.
What you can do to help drivers who come under you is to probably negotiate a lower rate with the Insurance Commission.
I will do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's about the manifesto promise on page 81 that the 17.5% of VAT on domestic airfares will be reduced, and also the price of aviation fuel It is not directly under you, but airline business is under transport. So I'd like to know what you can do about this as well.
Honorable Chairman, fortunately for me, that burden has been taken away from me. It is now with the Ministry of Aviation. So for now, I think I would like to, if you permit me, to defer this answer to the minister. I'm sure he will come here, and I'm sure he will respond exactly to that. Thank you very much.
Okay, well said, and thank you very much for your answer. We will reserve the question for the Minister for Aviation.
Okay, Honorable Anthony Kabu.
Congratulations, Honorable Mr. Kwasi Ofori Asiamah. I must put on record that Mr. Asiamah was the patron of the National Youth Wing when I was elected National Youth Organizer of the MPP. So I've worked quite closely with him and I know his capability. And just one question. I'm very sure the Minister-designate is very conversant with the happenings at the DVLA. The activities of, quote unquote, the Guru boys. What ideas do you have to resolve the problem amongst the Guru boys at the DVLA offices across the country?
Yes, it's true, DVLA comes under me. And the issue of Guru boys is an issue that confronts every service seeker who go to DVLA to seek for a service. Mr. Chairman, basically I have said before, so long as there's human interface in doing some of this business, it will create avenue for them. So one thing I will seek to do is to advise them to go for full automation technology. 1, 2, constant education. We need to educate the general public about the existence of these Guru boys and the need for them to be very careful. And also try to bring in the enforcement agencies that at least they should also come in about the existence of this. Well, Mr. Chairman, about the perceived goal issue that the honorable member.
Chairman, thank you. Mr. Nominee, I heard you use the word DVLA is under me. Will be under you. Note the words. DVLA is under me, and DVLA will be under me because you don't have this committee and parliament's approval yet. Now, you also have been emphasizing the word to know about the existence of Guru boys. That will imply that you will work with Guru boys. No, that is my understanding. Careful. What the Ghanaian public wants is to have easy access to their licenses without any middlemen. They know DVLA. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman, Honorable Chairman. Thank you, Honorable Member, for the corrections. I think I do appreciate your concern. Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, let me come back to the issue. What I was trying to, the Honorable Member asked the question about the Guruism in the DVLA issue. I think it is becoming difficult for me to mention the word Guru because if I don't take time, the Honorable Member
mention the Guru boys exist. Mention.
Okay, thank you very much.
About them. They are there.
Now, with your permission, Mr. Chairman, I can mention that Guru boys exist. So, like I said, we need to look at about technology, try to eliminate the human interface. Then also, I also try to advise, if by God permit, the Honorable Member remind me that I'm confirmed about this decentralization that the DVLA is undertaking. They need to pursue it further, so at least we will have a lot of DVLA testing center, issue land center, instead of all of us conversion at the DVLA offices. Thank you very much.
My last question has to do with the just one last question. Has to do with the Okada menace. For many of us who come from deprived communities, our only source of transport is Okada. Tricycle and motor transport is becoming a very big issue. In many parts of the north, it is the only means of transport to transport even sick people or pregnant people to the hospitals. His Excellency, the former president, launched a Mahama Kambu, which is very famous in Upper West, Upper East, and many parts of the country. What is your view on this? Is it something that your ministry will encourage, or there are other ideas you have in respect of that?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, the Honorable Member said that in the hinterlands, they use this thing because there's no transportation. It means that there is a void that these hinterland people have to make sure that they get means of transportation. Mr. Chairman, yes, in terms of the law is there that I'm going back to this guru isn't it? This Okada is done. But Mr. Chairman, it is true that the law is there in terms of Okada not being used for commercial purposes. But the honorable member rightly said that in the north or some certain part of where I come from, one day you don't even see a car or a bus pass by. What do? There must be a means of transportation for these people. So if only we will bring in the attendant measures that will reduce accidents and other things, that will also help them to have a means of transportation. Why not? We need to sit down and have a look at the law again and its use vis-a-vis the cities and the villages. So, Mr. Chairman, that's where I
up to the Honorable Kabo's question. In your answer, you hinted operationalizing the DVLA centers. Where would you put up those centers and when?
Mr. Chairman, where I may not be able to say specifically, it depends on the needs of the people. There are so many towns who don't have DVLA. But if the DVLA, as they are ruining the thing now, they can go in with the partnership with the private sector. And I'm sure they will be able to place some of these things where the needs may be. So where specifically, I will not be able to.
But you are in Ghana and you come from Dominasi, around that area through Cape Coast traveling. Let us know so that the people of Winneba, for instance, will know that they should anticipate that you open a DVLA office dedicated for Winneba. If you want to open it in Swedro, say so. We want to know, where do you intend to create more offices of DVLA?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, I think I thank the Honorable Member for giving me that advice. But let me assure you, the first place I open one is Dungwao, where I come from. My people will have the benefit of DVLA office there. Before that, like I said, Honorable Member, thank you. I will seek your advice and look at where the needs may be very. Then we will do all this operation. But
let me assure you, Dunko DVLA office was reopened by me.
Oh.
So there is an office there. Honorable Nana Mwako facilitated the location, except that they don't have the private vehicle testing station. All the vehicle tests are privately owned. The challenge is that the private people will go where the money is. So I'm sure his concern is, what about the places which are not likely to be profitable, where if there's no intervention, they may not have a private testing station?
Mr. Chairman, I think that the issue of profit is important. But at a certain time, we can make a social intervention depending on the needs of the people. Because if somebody has to travel far from Hafasini to come to Accra to come and register a vehicle, and that is creating a problem for him, I think the government can come in with some form of intervention to make sure that there's a DVLA office there which will relieve them of that problem.
Chairman, for instance, we know the burden in Tema. So between Asiamah traveling to Dawa, can they be assured that you are likely to let them have access to a DVLA office in order that you decongest Tema so that persons can drive to get access to this facility?
Honorable Chairman, I think the Honorable Member has given me very good advice. I will consider it and see that it is implemented. Thank you.
My first question was partly asked and partly answered. So let me just see if I can get some more information from you. It relates to the DVLA and the concerns of ordinary Ghanaians, especially those who are not very lettered. There seemed to be a deliberate attempt by DVLA to deny people who are not lettered, people who haven't gone to school, to drive in the area of driver license, issuance. So I want you to explain to me how you'll approach this concern. Apart from that, there's also the concern of people who go for licenses, that there seem to be a deliberate, act of people who are supervisors just to fail, people who apply for these licenses. So they come back until they are so frustrated that they have to see somebody who knows somebody or pay something before they get their licenses out. How are you going to address these issues? The issue of the limited opportunity for people who are not lettered to procure licenses, and then the difficulty that people have had, in even passing the exams that they conduct, before they get licenses.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, the first part of the question talked about people who haven't gone to school before, and for that matter, they don't have the opportunity of attaining license. Mr. Chairman, this is an issue which is concerning so many people, including people who come from my village. Unfortunately for me, I haven't been to the ministry yet for me to have full briefing about what is that they took that decision. But I can assure the Honorable Chairman that this is an issue dear to everybody. If by God's grace I'm permitted and I'm convinced as a minister, I will sit down with them and find out the other way around. If some of these people haven't gone to school, but they can use driving as an opportunity for them to gain employment, and see how we can resolve it. In the second issue of people being failed, that is what I'm talking about. So long as there's a human interface, there may be these challenges. But if you're able to bring in technology, that will determine that truly the person failed the exams, not if he fails. It is not because of somebody's doing. Then that's why we can't do anything about it. So technology is key to determine whether the person failed the exams or he passed. So that is what I can say.
Honorable Soyene, let me just, just to do a follow-up. And Chairman, with your permission, I'm aware that there was a policy that these licenses be given to literates, people who are lettered and can read and write. And Chairman, just to share a story that I know with Cabo, there is this driver who was just like me, who came to a pedestrian crossing, then rolled his glass, and then a pedestrian person said, "Don't you know this is zebra?" Then he rolled down the glass and said, "Are you a zebra?" So can you guarantee that you don't give license to people who would not have an understanding of basic rules pertaining to driving and to respect them and to enforce the national policy against you giving the license to that other category of people? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, once again, it's a very good advice. I will look at it and see how we can bring in the local languages in order to facilitate those who haven't gone to school before, in order for them to attain these licenses. Thank you.
All right. My second question relates to the operations of STC and Metromas. I come from the north, and I represent a constituency, Tamale North. Now, over the years, I've had the unpleasant pleasure of having to board buses either at the STC station or the Metro Mass station. And sometimes, for those of us who come from that area, there seemed to be a deliberate, action of managers to reserve the most deplorable buses for those areas. And they will break down, you will be on the road for several hours, and like we're told a while ago, you will even have no access to the money that you paid initially, so you can make alternative arrangements. Now, how are you going to ensure that the buses that are available are evenly distributed across, so that passengers or commuters can, be assured of some comfort? And again, the problems with these companies, how are you going to resolve it? STC and Metro Mass, for example. Because this thing happens, you go to the station, you find one town, a new bus comes, it is loaded, another new bus comes, it is loaded, and you see the bus you have to use, and it's just not good.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, this is a situation that I'm not privy to, but I think the Honorable Member has an experience, that's why he's speaking to it. My simple answer to this question is that it should be an issue of management. It should be an issue of management. So we need to put in best management practices, best management team to manage some of these institutions. Thank you.
Generally, but what assurance you have that, these institutions, Metro Mass and STC, will have, maybe it's because they don't have new buses, they don't have as many new buses as possible. That's why they are faced with this challenge of managing their fuel. What assurance do you have that will recapitalize and perhaps even give them more buses?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, even the issue of lack of buses, I think as a ministry, we need to encourage them to increase their fleet so that they can ride this route that they used to ride. If it's an issue of management, like I said, we need to put in good management practices so that they may solve the problem. One solution may lead to another solution. So basically, that's what I want to end the answer, because I do not have the full information about some of these things. Thank you.
My final question is on sports. I'm sure that's that's an area that you are very comfortable with. You listed on your CV that you are a member of the Ticketing and Security Committee. One thing that I have been very worried about is the May 9 disaster, and whether or not we as a country have learned any lessons from it. Since you were with the Security Committee and Ticketing, I just want to know if you recall, and if you played any role, and if you have any ideas moving forward on how we can make sure that these things don't happen. Because after the May 9 disaster, we have had near disasters, at our sports stadia.
Well, if you have any ideas, that's the question that you want to share. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, the May 9 disaster is a major problem to this country. What I can say is that the government issued a white paper on it, and that white paper is there for all of us to study. But basically, people going to stadium, controlling them at times becomes a little bit difficult. But like I said, there's a white paper on the May 9 disaster, which is a lesson for all of us to learn from, and I'm sure.
So will you shabobo them?
Honorable Chairman, the word shabobo is
out of order.
Chairman, he wants to explain shabobo. There is some
shabobo is overruled. Please continue.
You state that you establish a timely and effective preventive maintenance plan for all public transportation vehicles. What do you really mean by this?
Privately, public, I think I forgot, I did the last part of it.
On page 79 of the MPP manifesto, bullet number, or paragraph E, maintenance scheme, bullet 3, and I will read to help you. It says, establish a timely and effective preventive maintenance plan
for all public transportation vehicles. And I said, what does this really mean?
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, I think that we are concerned about the state of accidents on our road. And we need, as a nation, take a critical look about how maintenance system is being done in this country. So one area that we will concentrate in some problem is the DVLA coming in to make sure that every vehicle that they register is roadworthy. We can also bring other mechanism of doing re-registration to find out that indeed whether the public transport or the private ownership, they are adhering to the maintenance culture in this country. So it is important that we adhere to this principle. We can also bring in the National Road Safety Commission to check that all the vehicles on this road have the roadworthy licenses to make sure that the roads are the vehicles are in a good state for people to use.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Since he has led himself, I was there. I was just going to ask. I mean, in this country, you have a vehicle. When you go to register it at DVLA, even the color of the vehicle is stated and known. Then after the license or the number has been given you, for what reason you say, oh, I don't like red color, I rather want it to be blue. You go and change it without going back to DVLA. It makes the work of the security very difficult. What do you intend to do to minimize or reduce this drastically if given the nod as a minister?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, the Honorable Member has raised a very critical question in our development. That people go in to change their car colors without referring to DVLA. But I don't know whether there may be a law forcing somebody not to change his car color. So for the first time, we need to look at the law again. Because, to be honest, if you give the liberty to people, they will go and do things. So you must first of all bring in LI to make sure that people do not go and change their cars if they don't have the permission from the DVLA. Until the law, I think you cannot force somebody, in my estimation, to maintain the color of his car.
I thought that since you are going to be in charge of policy, and you basically sometimes drive amendments to law just to be able to deal with solutions, I thought you could be considering it.
Honorable Chairman, I said that LI, and that is what maybe if I'm permitted, I will sit down with the ministry, find out if you could push this, and I'm sure that when you come to the house, I will come and see you, so that we can quickly fasten this passage.
Mr. Chairman, my last question. You know the police is supposed to help ensure that we have the right driver's license, our vehicles are roadworthy, insurance are obtained as by law. Will you consider a percentage of all these fees going to the police to help them strengthen their unit that house in the maintenance of ensuring that we have driver's licenses, we have insurance, our vehicles are roadworthy?
Honorable Chairman, I will plead with the Honorable Member to repeat his question again.
Oh, I'm saying that you know the driver's license, when you're going to procure driver's license, you have to pay a fee. If your vehicle is going to be checked for its roadworthiness, you pay a fee. If you have to procure an insurance, you also pay for it. Will you consider a percentage of all that is going, whether it's driver license, whether it's roadworthiness, whether it's insurance, even though I know the insurance really doesn't sit with any of the agencies under transport, will you consider making a point to ensure that at least the police have a percentage, even if let's say it's 1 cedi for driver license, when you pay for it goes to the police. When you are getting your vehicle roadworthiness, some amount of money in all those payments goes to the police to strengthen the police unit, like the MTTU,
to be able to help enforce this law? Because you have talked about the carnage in an earlier question and things that needs to be done to ensure that we reduce the carnage on our roads.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, if by God I'm able to be confirmed as a minister, I will sit down and discuss this issue. I'll give it a thought, call all the parties involved and see how we can discuss. And the police are doing well, we need to support them. But first of all, we must get a consensus of all these parties involved. And I'll bring them together. If it is agreed that we need support, why not? We will support them for them to give us a good service. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.